Princess Astra stood alone on the observation deck of her royal ship. The stars stretched out before her like diamonds on black velvet. Below, a battle raged between her people's ships and the human fighters. Explosions lit up the darkness every few seconds. The humans were losing, as they always did, but they fought hard. Astra sighed and touched the cool glass. The Luminary Empire had ruled this part of space for 1,000 years. Her father, Emperor Zorian, had told her since childhood that it was their right to take what they wanted. The humans of Earth were just the latest to stand in their way. "Your Highness," a voice called from behind her. Astra turned to see Captain Vex, her head of security. His blue skin seemed almost gray in the dim light. "What is it, Captain?" she asked. "We have captured a human pilot." His ship came too close. "To the royal vessel," Astra raised an eyebrow. "And why are you telling me this? Execute him with the others." Captain Vex shifted uncomfortably. "The prisoner is different, Your Highness. He knew codes that let him slip past our outer defenses." "And he asked for you by name? By your private name?" Astra felt a chill run down her spine. No human should know her private name, the one used only by family. "Bring him to me," she ordered. 20 minutes later, 2 guards dragged the human into her private meeting room. His hands were bound behind his back. Blood trickled from a cut above his eye, but he stood straight and proud. He was taller than Astra expected. Most humans she had seen in reports were smaller than the Luminari. This one had broad shoulders and strong arms. His hair was the color of Earth's wheat fields, and his eyes were a deep blue that reminded her of the sacred pools on her home world. "Leave us," Astra told the guards. "But stay outside the door." When they were alone, Astra circled the human slowly. "You know who I am?" she said. The human nodded. "Yes, Astra, I know exactly who you are." She stopped in front of him. No one used her name without her title. It was a grave insult. Yet instead of anger, she felt something else, something strange and unsettling. "Who are you?" she demanded. "My name is Jack Miller. I'm a pilot with the Earth Defense Force." "And how do you know my private name, Jack Miller?" Jack looked at her with such familiarity that Astra took a step back. "Because you told it to me," he said simply. 3 years ago, when we met on Earth. During the peace talks, Astra shook her head. "I have never been to Earth. Your mind must be damaged." "You have been to Earth," Jack insisted. "You spent 3 months there as part of a secret diplomatic mission. We met at a reception at the United Nations building in New York. You wore a silver dress that matched your eyes, and you hated the champagne." Astra felt dizzy suddenly. An image flashed in her mind, glasses clinking, strange music playing, the taste of bubbling liquid that made her nose wrinkle. "You're trying to confuse me," she said. "Some kind of human trick." Jack shook his head. "Look at my chest. There's a medallion under my flight suit." Cautiously, Astra reached forward and pulled aside the torn fabric of his uniform. A silver medallion hung from a chain around his neck. It was shaped like 2 moons overlapping, the royal symbol of the Luminari. Bonding ceremony. Her hand trembled as she touched it. "Where did you get this? It's a royal treasure." "You gave it to me when we were married," Jack said quietly. Astra stepped back as if she had been struck. "Married? That's impossible. I would never marry a human. It's forbidden by our laws." "That's why we kept it secret," Jack said. "But your father found out. And when he did, he had your memories erased." A pain shot through Astra's head so sharp she gasped. Another flash, she and Jack walking along a beach, waves lapping at their feet, his hand warm in hers. "You're lying," she whispered, but with less conviction. "Ask yourself why I would make up such a story," Jack said. "Why I would fly into the heart of an enemy fleet. Why I would risk everything just to see you again." Astra walked to the window, trying to clear her head. "If what you say is true, why come now? It's been 3 years. Because I only found you 6 months ago. It took time to plan, and because your father is planning something terrible, something that will destroy Earth completely, I had to warn you." Astra turned back to face him. "My father would never, he calls it the cleansing light," Jack interrupted. A weapon that will strip away Earth's atmosphere. Nothing will survive. Another flash of memory hit Astra, her father speaking with his generals, mentions of a final solution to the human problem. She had thought nothing of it at the time. Even if I believed you, she said carefully, what do you expect me to do? Betray my people? My father? Jack took a step toward her. The guards outside shifted but didn't enter. I expect you to remember who you are, he said. Not just the princess of the Luminari, but Astra, the woman who told me she believed in peace, the woman who saw beauty in human art and music, the woman who said she loved me. Astra's head was pounding now. More images flashed through her mind, kissing Jack under strange trees with pink flowers, writing in a journal by earth candlelight, slipping away from her guards to meet him in secret. There's a gap in your memory, isn't there? Jack asked. Softly, a period of time that feels fuzzy, unclear? Astra nodded despite herself. There was a 3-month period marked in her personal records as a royal health retreat. She had never questioned it before. She reached out and touched the medallion again. It felt familiar in her fingers, like something she had held many times. Before, I don't know what to believe, she admitted. Then believe this, Jack said. He leaned forward and whispered something in her ear, words in the ancient Luminari tongue, words from the royal bonding ceremony that no human should know. Astra gasped. Her legs felt weak. She grabbed the edge of a nearby table to steady herself. Guards! She called suddenly. The door opened and her guards rushed in, weapons ready. Take the prisoner to the secure chamber near my quarters, she ordered. He is not to be harmed, and send for Dr. Nix immediately. As the guards led Jack away, he looked back at her one last time. Remember the Falling Star Cafe, he said. Remember what you promised me there. When he was gone, Astra sank into a chair. The Falling Star Cafe, the name meant nothing to her, and yet ... a taste of something sweet came to her mind. The sound of rain on windows. Warm hands holding hers across a small table, she touched her temples. What was happening to her? Was this human somehow planting false memories, or was he telling the truth? Either way, she needed answers. And for the first time in her life, she wasn't sure if she could trust her father to give them to her. Outside. The window, the battle with the humans continued. But now, each explosion made Astra wince. Because if Jack was telling the truth, these weren't just enemies dying out there, they were his people. And maybe somehow they were hers too. Dr. Nix frowned as she studied the scan results of Princess Astra's brain. The tall, slender Luminari doctor had served the royal family for 30 years. She had delivered Astra as a baby. Now she was concerned about her princess. There's unusual activity in your memory centers, Dr. Nix said. I can find no physical cause, no injury, no disease. Astra sat on the edge of the examination table. Her silver eyes looked tired. Could someone change my memories, doctor? Remove some and add others? Dr. Nix put down her scanner. Her expression grew careful. Such technology exists. It is used only in extreme cases. For criminals who cannot be rehabilitated otherwise. For victims of terrible trauma. She paused. It would be forbidden to use on royalty. But it is possible. Astra pressed. Yes, Dr. Nix admitted. It is possible. Astra rubbed her temples. The headaches were getting worse. They came with flashes of memory. Strange places, unfamiliar foods. And always Jack's face. The human prisoner, Astra said. I want you to examine him too. Dr. Nix looked surprised. For what purpose? To confirm his identity, to check if his mind has been altered as well. The doctor bowed her head. As you wish, Your Highness. Later. Astra walked through the quiet corridors of the royal vessel. Most of the crew was asleep. It was the middle of the ship's night cycle, but Astra could not sleep. Too many questions filled her mind. She found herself outside the secure chamber where Jack was being held. The guards straightened when they saw her. Leave us, she ordered. Wait, at the end of the corridor. When they were gone, Astra entered the room. Jack sat on a simple bed. He was no longer in restraints. He looked up when she entered. You came back, he said. Tell me more, Astra said. About us. About Earth. Jack patted the bed beside him. After a moment's hesitation, Astra sat down. We met at the peace talks, Jack began. You were there in secret. Most humans didn't know a Luminari princess was among them. You used a different name. You wore a device that made your skin look more like ours. Why was I there? Astra asked. Your father sent you to learn about humans, to find our weaknesses. But you found something else instead, Jack smiled. You found that we weren't the savages your father described. You liked our music, our art, our food. Astra closed her eyes. She could almost hear strange music playing. Instruments she did not recognize. Melodies that stirred something deep inside her. We weren't supposed to talk to each other, Jack continued. I was just a pilot assigned to the diplomatic team for security, but one night there was a reception. You were standing alone, you looked lost. And you approached me, Astra said, the words coming from somewhere deep in her mind. Jack looked at her sharply. Yes, I offered you a drink. You said the bubbles hurt your nose. Astra opened her eyes. Champagne. You remember, Jack said softly. Just flashes, nothing solid. Astra stood up and paced the room. If what you say is true, how did we go from meeting at a reception to marriage? Jack leaned back against the wall. We started meeting in secret. Just to talk at first. You were curious about Earth. I was fascinated by you. Then one night, there was an incident. A group of anti-alien protesters tried to break into the UN building. I got you out safely. After that, we started to trust each other more. Astra stopped. Pacing, another memory surfaced, running down dark hallways, Jack's hand holding hers tightly. Fear, but also excitement. You showed me your real form, Jack said. No more disguise. You said you wanted me to know who you really were. Astra turned. To face him, and you weren't afraid? Disgusted? Jack shook his head. I thought you were the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. Heat rose to Astra's cheeks. No one had ever called her beautiful before. On Luminari, it wasn't a compliment. Beauty was considered unimportant compared to strength and intelligence. What happened next? She asked. We fell in love, Jack said simply. It was impossible, forbidden, but we couldn't help it. We started sneaking away whenever we could. I showed you Earth, real Earth, not just meeting rooms and official buildings. Astra sat down again, closer to Jack this time. The beach. I remember waves. The smell of salt water. Jack nodded eagerly. I took you to California. We walked on the beach at sunset. You said the oceans on your world were purple, not blue. They are, Astra confirmed. After 2 months, we knew we wanted to be together. But how? A human and the princes of Luminari? It seemed hopeless. So what did we do? Astra asked. Jack reached for the medallion around his neck. We created our own hope. We had a private ceremony. Just us and an old friend of mine who didn't ask questions. We used both Earth vows and the Luminari bonding words that you taught me. Astra's hand moved to her neck, searching for something that wasn't there. I had a medallion too. Yes, Jack said. They were a pair, linked somehow, you said. When one bearer was in danger, the other would know. Astra frowned. Where is mine now? I don't know. When your father found out about us, everything happened very fast. You were taken back to your ship. I was arrested. How did my father find out? Astra asked. Jack's face darkened. Someone betrayed us. Someone who saw us together and reported back to your father. Who? Your handmaiden, Lyra. Astra stood up suddenly. No, Lyra has been with me since childhood. She would never betray me. She did, Jack said firmly. She thought she was protecting you, saving you from making a terrible mistake. Astra began to pace again. Lyra had been acting strangely lately, watching Astra closely, asking questions about her headaches. I need proof, Astra said. Something more than words and fragments of memory. Jack stood up and walked to her. He stopped just short of touching her. There is proof, your journal. You kept a detailed journal while you were on Earth. You wrote in it every day. Where is it now? You kept it with you always. If they took your memories, they must have taken the journal too. Astra thought for a moment. The Imperial Archives. If such a journal exists, it would be there. Can you access the archives? Jack asked. Yes, I am still the princess. Astra walked to the door, then turned back. If I find nothing, if there is no proof, then you can execute me, Jack said. But you will find proof, Astra, because what we had was real. As Astra left the secure chamber, she nodded to the guards to resume their posts. Her mind was racing. If she found the journal, if Jack was telling the truth, her entire life would change. Her view of her father, her people, their war with humans, all of it would be based on lies, and if Jack was lying, if this was some elaborate human trick, then she would have to kill the man who, against all reason, was beginning to feel like the most important person in her life. Astra walked faster through the corridors. Whatever the truth was, she needed to find it. Soon, because she had just received word that her father's new weapon, the cleansing light, would be ready in 3 days. And then Earth would be no more. The Imperial Archives were located in the lowest level of the royal vessel. Few people had permission to enter. As princess, Astra could go anywhere she wished, but even she rarely came here. The archives held thousands of years of luminary history, stored on crystal data cores. Astra approached the entrance. The guard bowed deeply. Your Highness, this is unexpected. How may I serve you? I need to access my personal records, Astra said, from 3 years ago, the period of my health retreat. The guard's expression didn't change, but Astra noticed a slight hesitation before he nodded. Of course, Your Highness. Please follow me. Inside, the archive room glowed with soft blue light. Rows of crystal columns stretched into the distance. Each crystal contained thousands of memories, reports, and images. The guard led Astra to a small section marked with the royal symbol. Your personal records are here, Your Highness. I will wait by the door. When the guard was out of earshot, Astra began her search. She quickly found the records from 3 years ago. As she expected, there was a 3-month gap marked Royal Health Retreat. No details, no locations. Nothing useful. Astra frowned. If Jack was telling the truth, someone had removed the real records and replaced them with this cover story. But who would have the authority to alter royal records? Only her father, the Emperor. Astra moved to another section of the archives. Medical records? If her memories had been altered, there should be a record of the procedure. She searched for her name. There it was, Project Severance. The file was locked with the highest security codes, but as princess, Astra could override them. The file opened. Astra read quickly, her heart pounding. Subject: Princess Astra. Procedure: targeted memory excision and replacement. Reason: contact with harmful foreign elements resulting in compromised loyalty. Authorized by Emperor Zorian. Astra felt sick. It was true. Her own father had ordered her memories erased. She had been on Earth. She had met Jack, and her father had taken it all away from her. There was more. The name of the doctor who performed the procedure: Dr. Kell. He was still on the royal vessel, serving as one of the medical staff. Astra copied the file to a small data crystal and slipped it into her pocket. Then she left the archives, nodding to the guard as if nothing was wrong. Her next stop was the medical wing. She needed to find Dr. Kell. The medical wing was quiet at this hour. Most of the staff were asleep. Astra found Dr. Kell's office and entered without knocking. Dr. Kell was an older luminary with gray skin and tired eyes. He looked up in surprise when Astra entered. Your Highness, is something wrong? Are you ill? Astra placed the data crystal on his desk. Project Severance. Tell me about it. The doctor's face went pale. I don't know what you mean. Don't lie to me, Astra said. Her voice was quiet but dangerous. I've seen the records. You performed the procedure on me 3 years ago. You took my memories. Dr. Kell seemed to shrink in his chair. I had no choice, Your Highness. The Emperor commanded it. To refuse would have meant death. What exactly did you do to me? The doctor looked around nervously, then pressed a button that sealed the door. It was a complex procedure. We targeted specific memories, your time on Earth, your interactions with the humans, especially the one called Jack Miller. So, it's true, Astra whispered. All of it. Yes, Dr. Kell admitted. You were on Earth for a diplomatic mission. You became involved with a human. When the Emperor found out, he was furious. He said you had been corrupted, that the humans had turned you against your own people. And my memories? Could they return on their own? Dr. Kell nodded slowly. The procedure is imperfect. Strong. Emotional memories can never be completely erased, only suppressed. With the right triggers, they can resurface. Like seeing Jack again? Astra said. Exactly. That's why the Emperor ordered the human executed. But he escaped somehow. Dr. Kell looked at her curiously. How did you learn about this? The human should be dead. He's not, Astra said. He's here on this ship. I captured him yesterday. The doctor's eyes widened in alarm. Your Highness, you must tell your father immediately. The human is dangerous. To whom? To me or to my father's lies? Astra leaned across the desk. Is there any way to restore my memories fully? Dr. Kell hesitated, then opened a drawer in his desk. He removed a small metal box and placed it on the desk. What is that? Astra asked. Your personal effects. From before the procedure. The Emperor ordered everything destroyed, but I kept a few items. I thought it wrong to erase a person so completely. Astra opened the box with trembling hands. Inside was a silver medallion matching the one Jack wore. There was also a small book bound in blue leather. My journal, Astra breathed. Yes, Dr. Kell said. I read it before the procedure. To know which memories to target. It was ... very detailed. Astra picked up the journal and opened it. The handwriting was unmistakably hers. She read a few lines. Earth is nothing like Father described. It's beautiful in its own way. The humans are not savages. They create art, music, they feel deeply. Especially Jack. When he looks at me, I feel as if he sees the real me, not just the princess. Tears filled Astra's eyes. She turned to another page. Today Jack showed me the ocean. I've never seen so much water in one place. The waves scared me at first, but Jack held my hand. We walked for hours along the shore. When he kissed me, I knew I was falling in love. Father would be furious if he knew. Astra closed the journal and looked at Dr. Kell. I need to see Dr. Nix. She examined the human earlier today. What did she find? She reported that he is telling the truth as far as she can determine. His brain shows no signs of memory tampering. And there are trace elements in his body consistent with someone who has undergone the luminary bonding ritual. Astra clutched the medallion tightly. The bonding ritual? We actually completed it? Dr. Kell nodded. According to your journal. Yes, it was not official, of course. No priest, but you performed the basic ritual. Astra stood up straight. Thank you for your honesty, Doctor. Now I need your silence. Tell no one that I was here. Tell no one what we discussed? Of course, Your Highness. Dr. Kell looked at her curiously. What will you do now? Astra touched the journal. I'm going to learn the truth. All of it. As she left the medical wing, Astra felt both lighter and heavier. Lighter because she now knew she wasn't going crazy. The memories were real. Jack was telling the truth. Heavier because she now faced an impossible choice. Her father, her people, everything she had ever known, against the truth, against Jack, against the woman she had been before her memories were stolen, and all the while, the countdown to Earth's destruction continued. 2 days remained until the cleansing light would be ready. Astra headed back to the secure chamber where Jack was being held. It was time to make a plan. Time to decide where her true loyalties lay, with the empire that had raised her, or with the world that had shown her love. Jack looked up as the door to his chamber opened. Astra stood there, her silver eyes bright with emotion. In her hands she held a blue leather book and a silver medallion. You were right, she said simply. Jack rose to his feet. You found your journal, Astra nodded. She closed the door behind her and sat on the edge of the bed. Jack sat beside her, careful to keep some distance between them. I read some of it, Astra said. She opened the journal to a page marked with a red ribbon. We went to a place called Niagara Falls. I wrote that the sound of the water was like the singing caves on my homeworld. You said it made you feel small in a good way, Jack said. Like you were part of something bigger than yourself or your empire. Astra looked at him with wonder. You remember my exact words. I remember everything about our time together, Jack said. While you were losing your memories, I was holding on to mine. They were all I had left of you. Astra fingered the silver medallion. It was identical to Jack's, but with subtle differences in the pattern. We really did perform the bonding ritual. Yes, Jack said. On the night before you were supposed to return to your ship. We knew it would be hard to be together, but we thought we could find a way. You were going to speak to your father. Try to convince him that peace was possible. But he already knew, Astra said. My handmaiden Lyra had told him everything. He was waiting for me when I returned, and then she touched her temple. Then nothing. My next clear memory is waking up in my quarters, being told I had been ill. Jack reached out slowly and took her hand. Astra didn't pull away. I was arrested, Jack said. They were going to execute me. But your father wanted to question me first. He wanted to know if there were others like me, others who had formed bonds with Luminari. How did you escape? Astra asked. I had friends in the Earth diplomatic corps. They broke me out during transfer to a more secure facility. Jack squeezed her hand gently. I tried to get to you, but you were gone. Your father's ship had left Earth orbit. I've been searching for you ever since. Astra looked down at their joined hands. His was warm against her cooler skin, and now you found me, she said. But what good does it do? My father will have the cleansing light ready tomorrow. Earth will be destroyed. And if I try to stop him, I'll be committing treason against my own people. And Jack turned to face her fully. Your people don't know the truth. They've been told that humans refused peace talks. That we attacked first? Your father has been planning this war for years. How do you know that? It's in your journal, too. Things you overheard, plans you saw. Your father never wanted peace. With Earth, he wants our resources, our planet. And he's willing to kill billions to get it. Astra stood up and paced the small room. Even if that's true, what can we do? I'm just one person. You're a prisoner. We need to escape, Jack said. Get back to Earth. Warn them about the weapon. Earth has no defense against the cleansing light, Astra said. It will strip away your atmosphere in minutes. Nothing will survive. Then we need to stop it at the source, Jack said. Disable the weapon before it can be used. Astra stopped pacing. That's impossible. The weapon is on my father's flagship. It's the most heavily guarded ship in the fleet. But you're the princess, Jack pointed out. You have access. Astra was quiet for a long moment. What you're asking? It would mean betraying everything I've ever known? No, Jack said firmly. It would mean being true to who you really are. The woman who wrote in that journal. The woman who believed peace was possible. The woman I fell in love with. Astra looked down at the journal in her hands. She opened it to the last entry, dated 3 years ago. I am going home tomorrow. Jack is worried, but I am confident I can make. Father, understand? Humans are not our enemies. They could be our greatest allies. Jack and I have proven that Luminari and humans can love each other. Perhaps one day our peoples can too. Astra closed the journal, her expression hardened with resolve. I need to speak with Lyra, she said. Your handmaiden? The one who betrayed. U.S.? Jack looked concerned. Is that wise? I need to know why she did it, Astra said, and I need her help now. Astra left Jack's chamber, nodding to the guards. The prisoner is to be given food and clean clothes, by my order. The guards looked surprised, but nodded. Yes, Your Highness. Astra found Lyra in the royal quarters, arranging fresh flowers. The handmaiden bowed deeply when Astra entered. Your Highness, how may I serve you? Astra held up the journal. You can start by explaining this. Lyra's eyes widened. Her hands trembled. Where did you find that? It doesn't matter, Astra said. What matters is that I know the truth now. I know what my father did to me. I know what you did. Lyra sank to her knees. Please, Your Highness, I thought I was protecting you. The human. Had enchanted you somehow, made you forget your duty? He didn't enchant me, Astra said. I fell in love with him. And with his world. A world my father plans to destroy tomorrow. Lyra looked up, her face pale. The cleansing light, it's ready. Almost, Astra said, and I'm going to stop it. That's treason, Lyra whispered. Perhaps, Astra admitted. Or perhaps the real treason was lying to our people, telling them humans are savages who can't be reasoned with, starting a war we didn't need to fight. Astra knelt down so she was eye level with Lyra. You've served me since I was a child. You care for me. I know you do. That's why you told my father about Jack. You thought you were saving me. Tears filled Lyra's eyes. I was wrong. After what happened to you, ... After they took your memories? I knew I had made a terrible mistake, but it was too late. It's not too late, Astra said. Help me now. Help me save Earth. How? Lyra asked. I need to get Jack off this ship. We need to reach my father's flagship and disable the cleansing. Light. Lyra's eyes widened. That's impossible. Not with your help, Astra said. Not with the right plan. Lyra was quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded slowly. What do you need me to do? Astra felt a weight lift from her shoulders. She wasn't alone anymore. First, we need to get a message to Earth. They need to know. What's coming? I can access the communication systems, Lyra said, but any message to Earth will be detected. Then we'll have to be quick, Astra said. And then we need to get to my father's ship. The Royal Shuttle, Lyra suggested. You have the authority to use it. Astra nodded. We leave in 6 hours, when the night shift begins. Fewer guards, fewer questions. As Lyra left to make preparations, Astra looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, still unaware of the danger it faced. And her father's ship, carrying the weapon that could end all life on that blue planet. In 6 hours, she would commit herself fully to a path from which there was no return. She would become a traitor to the Luminary Empire, but she would be true to herself, to the woman who had fallen in love with Jack Miller, to the woman who believed peace was possible. To the woman she was meant to be. The Royal Shuttle moved silently through space. Astra sat at the controls with Jack beside her. Lyra worked at the communication station behind them. They had escaped the royal vessel an hour ago. So far, no one had followed them. The message to Earth was received, Lyra said. They know about the cleansing light. They are evacuating as many people as possible. They won't be able to evacuate an entire planet in time, Jack said grimly. We need to stop that weapon. Astra checked the navigation display. We're approaching my father's flagship. I've transmitted my royal codes. They think I'm coming for an official visit. What happens when we land? Lyra asked. My father will be suspicious, Astra admitted. But he won't expect me to be working. With Jack? As far as he knows, I don't remember anything about Earth or my time there. Jack looked at the weapons on his belt. Astra had given him a Luminary stun pistol. We should be ready for a fight, Astra nodded. The cleansing light is located in the central weapons bay. We'll need to reach it and disable the power core. And then? Lyra asked. Then we run, Astra said simply. If we're lucky, we can get back to the shuttle and escape before they realize what we've done. The shuttle approached the massive flagship of the Luminary fleet. It was 3 times larger than Astra's royal vessel. The Emperor's personal ship. Incoming transmission, Lyra said. Astra pressed a button on the control panel. A hologram appeared showing a Luminary officer. Princess Astra, this is an unexpected honor. The Emperor is not currently aboard. He is at the command station overseeing final preparations. Astra kept her face calm despite the surge of fear she felt. That's fine, Commander. I'm here to inspect the cleansing light. My father asked me to verify the targeting systems. The officer hesitated only briefly. Of course, Your Highness. You are cleared to land in the Royal Bay. The hologram disappeared. Jack looked at Astra. Your father isn't on the ship. That's good news, or bad news, Astra said. It means the weapon is almost ready to deploy. The shuttle docked smoothly in the royal landing bay. Astra turned to Jack and Lyra. Remember the plan. Jack, stay behind me. Let me do the talking. Lyra, you know what to do if things go wrong? They left the shuttle. A small group of officers waited to greet Astra. They bowed deeply. Your Highness, welcome aboard. We were not informed of your visit. It was a last-minute decision, Astra said. She gestured to Jack. This is a human prisoner I'm bringing for questioning. My father is interested in his knowledge of Earth defenses. The officers looked at Jack with distaste but didn't question Astra. One of them stepped forward. I will escort you to the holding cells. No need, Astra said. First I want to inspect the cleansing light, my father's orders. The officer looked uncertain. The weapon is in final preparation, Your Highness? Access is restricted. Astra drew herself up to her full height. Her silver eyes flashed dangerously. Are you refusing a direct order from your princes, officer? The man paled. No, Your Highness, of course not. Please follow me. As they walked through the massive ship, Astra felt her heart pounding. Every step brought them closer to the weapon that could destroy Jack's world. And every step increased the chance that someone would see through their deception. The officer led them to a heavily guarded door. He pressed his hand to a scanner. Central Weapons Bay, he announced. The door slid open. Inside was a vast chamber. In the center stood a massive device. It looked like a giant crystal, pulsing with blue-white energy. Around it, dozens of technicians worked at control stations. The cleansing light, the officer said with pride. The most powerful weapon ever created by the Luminari. It will end the human resistance once and for all. Astra stepped forward, examining the weapon. How does it work? It generates a special type of energy wave, the officer explained. The wave will strip away Earth's atmosphere, making the planet uninhabitable. All human life will end within minutes. Astra kept her face neutral, though inside she felt sick. I need to check the targeting systems. My father is concerned about accuracy. The officer led her to a control panel. As Astra pretended to study the readouts, she whispered to Jack. The power core is at the base of the crystal. We need to overload it. Jack nodded slightly. He looked around the room, assessing the guards and exits. Suddenly, an alarm blared throughout the ship. The officer's communication device beeped. He listened, then turned to Astra with suspicion in his eyes. Your Highness, we just received a message from your royal vessel. They say you left without authorization and with a dangerous human prisoner. Astra and Jack exchanged a quick glance. Their cover was blown. Now! Astra shouted. Jack moved with surprising speed. He drew the stun pistol and fired at the nearest guards. Astra pulled out her own weapon and shot the control panel, sending sparks flying. Chaos erupted in the weapons bay. Technicians ran for cover. Guards drew their weapons. Jack grabbed Astra's arm and pulled her toward the central crystal. We need to reach the power core. He shouted over the alarms. They fought their way forward, ducking behind equipment as energy blasts flew around them. Lyra appeared from another entrance, creating a diversion by setting off small explosives she had hidden in her clothes. Finally, they reached the base of the crystal. Jack knelt and pried open an access panel. Inside was a complex array of power cells and circuits. Can you disable it? Astra asked, firing her weapon at approaching guards. Not quickly, Jack said. But I can make it explode. Astra looked at him in shock. That would destroy the entire ship. We'd never escape in time. Jack met her eyes. I know, understanding dawned on Astra's face. No, there must be another way. There isn't, Jack said gently. Look around us. We're surrounded. Even if we disabled the weapon without destroying it, they would just repair it. More guards poured into the weapons bay. Lyra was pinned down behind a console, unable to reach them. Go, Jack said to Astra. Get to the shuttle. I'll set the overload sequence. I won't leave you, Astra said fiercely. Jack touched her face. You have to. One of us needs to survive to tell the truth. To end this war, tears filled Astra's eyes. I just found you again, and you'll find me again, Jack promised. In another life. He pulled her close and kissed her. For a moment, the battle around them seemed to fade away. Then he pushed her toward Lyra. Go! Astra hesitated, then ran. Lyra provided covering fire as they fought their way to the exit. Just before she left the weapons bay, Astra looked back. Jack was working on the power core, ignoring the chaos around him. He looked up one last time and smiled at her. Then the doors closed between them. Astra and Lyra raced through the corridors, fighting their way back to the royal shuttle. They reached it just as a massive explosion rocked the flagship. The cleansing light was destroyed. And with it, Jack. As the shuttle sped away from the crippled flagship, Astra clutched the medallion around her neck. It felt warm against her. Skin, he saved Earth, Lyra said softly. Yes, Astra whispered. And now I have to save both our worlds from my father's lies. The shuttle turned toward Earth. Astra looked out at the stars, her resolve hardening through her grief. She would tell the truth about the war, about her father's deception, about Jack's sacrifice. And perhaps someday she would build the peace that she and Jack had dreamed of, a peace between humans and Luminari. A tribute to the human warrior who had been her husband, a man who had loved her enough to give his life for her world and his own. As Earth came into view, a blue jewel against the blackness of space, Astra made a silent promise to Jack. Their story was not over. It was just beginning.